November 18th. It's Thursday. It's the next day. Stock market's about to begin, and the stock is pumped. Everyone's waiting for the stock to go down. Of course, they got to make it go higher and higher and higher, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And most people use stop losses, so it goes down and it has to go snapping back up to stop people out. And wow, they are not letting me out of any of my trades. Okie dokie. Wow. They're stealing money from me right now. I've got all these orders in place to get out, and they're not executing any of them. And so you see where I'm making all this money? 185. Watch this. They're not doing any of it. They're not giving me any of the money. Isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame? What a cool way to steal from somebody. Oh my God, bro. And I only made $164 right there. Wow. Wow. How sad. Why are they doing this so quickly? They go up and then quickly go snapping back down as fast as possible. What? Why the record speed? makes no sense. Well, this is rare because normally I'm not going to put on almost 300 shares at the very beginning and stuff like this. I usually don't make $200 in 6 minutes because I usually right there would have traded with just 10 shares or 20 shares or 25 shares. But it was a particularly different situation than usual, and I needed to take advantage of it. You know, it's at the most all-timest highs of high, and it's like I knew it had to kind of come down and touch these prices. And it would be wrong to say 100% sure. Honestly, I was only about 75% sure it would do that. Written in stone, it is not. You see how down here I had 100 shares? I went 100 shares long down here, and as long as I was on that trade, they were like, oh no. And I'm like, I know darn well they got to go blasting up, because a lot of people in this situation, what they do is they're going to short like 1,000 shares with like a $2 stop loss. So going down this far and then backing back 50 cents isn't going to do anything. They got to go down at least $2 or $2.50 and then go up almost $2 to go stop them out. And then when they get them out of the way at a loss or at a very minimal gain, and then quickly come back down again and go down. So the very fact that they were gonna like not going back up right there was so aggravating. But I've learned you got to get out of their way. If I leave the money there, I always regret. Like if I would have left that money there and they would have not done this, and they'd all of a sudden just gone blasting down two more dollars, you know, I just don't want to be like all this negative 400 or 500. And I don't mind being negative 400 if right from the beginning everything just starts to get followed up and it just throwing, you know, good money after bad. But when you have a chance to be positive 200 and you didn't just at least take it, and then you're to the negative, it's way worse. You know, there's days where at the end of the day, I'm negative $800 because I've fooled around doing this and doing that. And it sucks because at one point that day, I was always positive 150 or 200. But I was trying to get to 250. I was trying to get to 300. I thought I could get to 500 that day. And you always think to yourself, well, if I don't get to 500, I guess I'll settle for 200. But that's not how it works. In attempting to get that last 50 bucks, they do weird things to unravel everything you've done. And before you know it, you're back to zero. And then once you're back to zero, you're like, well, hell with that. I'm at least going to get back to 200, which you already were there, so why didn't you just stop and be satisfied? So now you're going to start trading hours later. The best time of the day trading is gone behind you, and now you're going to try to make 200 for the second time. And that's when you go negative 200, negative 400, negative 800. And at the time, it's hard to think. It happens too fast. I'm not able to think, so I try to do all my thinking afterwards when I can look back and study what happened for the day and just tell myself, you know what? Every time that I stop and I say, forget it, I'm fine, $200 is enough for the day, I'm stopping. It will always look like I should not have stopped. I mean, yesterday's a good example. I actually put on a paper trade that I didn't dare do. I don't think I put it on camera, but anyways, my paper trade was this. I said I would at 11:24 a.m. paper trade, short at $154.16, 250 shares. And then I would get an exit order of 153, $1. That would make me 250 bucks. I was already positive 150 at the time, and that would have given me 400 for the day. I predicted it would happen by 12 o'clock. Let's see what happened. By the way, this is blasting up way high. I mean, yikes. I'm pretty sure I should be shorting this right now, but like I said, it's dangerous to... This is the time to just stop. It's like, I've already got 200. And I know it seems like it's got to come down, but it doesn't. They will do something that is something that seems impossible. They'll do something that seems impossible. And I'll be going, that's impossible! And it will be. What they do next will be impossible. I'll be like, how on earth did they just go to $160? They were already at 158. Why would they right now? So I put on 100 shares shorted, thinking I'm slick. And here they go, somehow up. Like, what? I would say that's impossible. You see, they don't need to go backwards and stop anybody out right now. There's no one to stop out. That's why they can just keep on going higher and higher and higher. If anything, they're only going up to stop out people that have it shorted, but with a $2 stop loss or a $3 stop loss. So let's say that somebody shorts it at 157 with a $3 stop loss. They have to first go down to 155, then they got to go all the way up to 157 or 158 to stop them out. Boy, are they trying so hard to prevent me. God, bad. Man. They're making sure that I don't get out. They're trying so hard to get me trapped in with shorted monies and then go blasting up high. I knew darn well that was the point of pullback, and I just couldn't get my trade up fast enough. I can't click the mouse fast enough. They sure do move their prices fast enough, though, don't they? No problem. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they move. They know how to move. I can't believe I couldn't get $50 right there. I can't believe I couldn't get the $50. I put in 130 shares. It moved way over 50 pennies, and yet I couldn't extract $50 out of that situation because I couldn't get the shares in fast enough. I couldn't get them out fast enough. God damn. This is one of the things how I know it's rigged, because when they do this to your negative, they don't act so quickly. They don't go, hey, $200 to your negative? Oh, only give them 30 seconds to respond. Not less than that. A nanosecond. Give him 10 seconds to respond to the negative. And then get right back to his positive. Don't even let his heart rate go high. Just quickly get back to the positive. They never do that. When they go to your negative, they make sure they get there and stay there and hang out there. It's really ridiculous, really. They'll go straight up $1 right now. They'll go from 158 here, and they'll go ding and just hit 159. See, they know that people can't act quick enough, so people rely on stop losses. For example, $10 bought back at trail stop, 25 cents, something like this. Now you see as it's going down, now I got those shares out of the way. I don't know what the hell's going on because they just snapped it back up, and yet those shares are still there. Totally confused. Well, anyway. You saw how I put on the trailing stop, and as the price went down, the stop loss area came down. Anyway, this is one of those days where I could make $1,000, but instead I'll lose 1,000. They will figure out something that will make me, after it's done, I'll be going, "That's impossible! I cannot believe!" And like right now, I know that they're going to come down. I know for a fact they're going to come down. I know what they're going to do, and I can say what they're going to do. I know exactly what they're going to do. All right? I knew that they were blasting down like this. I knew they were going to go blasting back up again. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to blast up that high. I figured that they blast up to about here or here. That would have been plenty high to go up and stop out most of the people that need to get stopped out. And then they'd go down again to here, go down further, and then from there go blasting way back up to here to stop out those people. But they're not playing around. They went way up and stopped people out. It's the only reason why they're even up here doing this. It's because people have shorted the stock, and then they put on like $1 stop loss, $1.50 or $2 stop loss. All right. And some people have it long with $1 stop loss. So by going straight down $1, you went right down to their negative and got them stopped out. For everybody that had it shorted with a trailing stop, their stop loss came down to here, and then when it went blasting back up, they stopped them out. Okay? So let's say that you have it long with a trailing stop. Your stop is down here. If it went up like this, your trailing stop would have came up with you. But if you've got a trailing stop and they go right down toward it, it doesn't back away. That's why it's called a trailing stop. It only can move with you, but it's a check valve. It can never go the other direction. It moves with you. So if somebody goes, oh, like let's say they're right here, they went long with a trailing stop. You know, it would have gone up to here. Their stop would have come up to here. Then it would have just gone straight down. And at 156, people are getting stopped out at a loss. Boom. Or down here. Boom. 155. That's $2. All right. So they went up to 157. They went down a little over $2. You know what? You know, between going up above 157 and going down below 155, it's about $2.50. 250 pennies. So anybody within that range, they got stopped out at an immediate loss. For people that have it shorted, anyway, I'm not trying to explain trading and how to buy or sell, strategies, how to read candlesticks, how to read charts. That's not this channel. This channel is one thing. It's to tell you and then do things, and if you ain't gonna see it, I could show you till you're blue in the face things and you would never see it because you just wouldn't believe it. It's that it's rigged. It's that really everything you do, they actually are trying to get you to the negative. I mean, really. I know darn well to short that stock right now. But if I short it, I can promise you they'll just go blasting up even higher. And then when they do that, I'll be going, great. Just like that, my $250 is back to zero. What in the hell are they doing going to 159, 160, 161? Supposedly, the reason why it's ever going up or down isn't because they're trying to go stop people out. If you ever said, how does the stock prices go up and down? you'll never read. So that the banks can fuck people up and stop people out at losses. First of all, stop losses are supposed to protect you from losses. That's why it's called a stop loss and a trailing stop loss. when really it's designed to go get you out at a loss. That's why they offer you to do it. Do you think the bank is interested to give you a tool such as a stop loss? Because they're interested in you protecting your profits from them? They love it when you buy a stock and then you sell it at a loss. Because basically they just bought the stock for you. They don't take the loss. They bought the stock, and then 3 days later, when it's profiting, then they sell the position. They always get their profits. They're just trying to get you on the books off at the wrong points. In and out at the wrong points. They don't ever lose money, the bank. The only time the bank loses money, honestly, is when I do things like this. And that's why it's their number one thing to prevent. And if I short the stock right there, they'll go blasting up even higher. If I do nothing, they will go down. But if I actually try to short that, it will not do it. What's my evidence? I never have evidence, but let me just show you this. So yesterday, if you can see the time down below, at 11 o'clock, right here, I made my prediction that the price would go down by 12. Remember that? By 12 o'clock, from 154 down to 153, and I'd make an extra $250 on top of my 150, so I could make $400 for the day. Well, by 12 o'clock, the price was way down to here, way down to 153, and then it went down even further. Actually went down another $2. It went down to 151. Forget 153, forget 152, it went down to 151. All right. So I should have shorted it. My gut instinct was telling me what to do. Come on, guys, when you guys day trade, you gotta learn to go with your gut feeling. You gotta learn to read these charts. Come on, guys, I'll show you how to make money. Those are all lies. You listen to those people, they're all idiots who are lying. They're all idiots. They're just, for all I know, they work for the platforms. For all I know, like Ameritrade pays about 100 different guys in the country and gives them their money to use to pretend trade with, and it's all just a joke. Here's what would have happened. If you go long the stock right there thinking by any chance it could ever go higher, they will plummet down. Whoops, whoa, my phone. Sorry about that. They'll go blasting down. If you right there was to short the stock, like I said I would do on paper, if I really did this, and I'm positive 150 for the day, they would have took my money away. How do I know that? I do this every day. They don't ever just keep giving me more money, more money, more money. They don't do that. If I'd have shorted it, they would have, all this shit that they're doing right here, they'd have done it yesterday. They'd have just gone, oh, well, here we go. They'd have gone right up to there. Think they can't go that high? Take a look. One day in the future, take a look. Think they can't go that high? Think they can't go up to here? Think they couldn't have gone up to there? Now, what if I'd have put 300 shares shorted, or 250, but let's say 300 shares shorted, and they would have gone up, where's 153? Or 154 was right there at that dotted line. This dotted line right there is 154. Just imagine this. They go blasting up to 155. That's $300 gone. So I was positive 150. So now I'm minus 150. Boom! Now I'm minus $450. See that? How about this? Boom! Seem crazy? If you couldn't see this happening right now, I would sound crazy. It would have looked like,
you're crazy. You should have shorted it because clearly it went down. That was the only thing that was going to happen, going down. I mean, you think that because you take a trade right there, you can affect the thing to go up or down?
Yeah, it's when you do something or not do something, it changes what the chart and what the stock does. That is exactly what I'm saying. And that would be known as rigged and rigged against you. That is exactly what I'm saying. Crazy talking. Hey, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because people try to make you sound crazy. They're like, so you mean to tell me that, yep, that is what I mean to tell you. Yes. Right there at the end of the day, if you go short the stock, they would have just kept on going. They'd have gone boom. And if you go long the stock, they go boom, 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 boom. And then in aftermarket hours, somebody's got to get off that money because you can't carry the money into the next day. Otherwise, your account is restricted. If you're going to use a margin account with day trading capability, you have to get off the money on the daily basis. That's the privilege to use their money. It's a privilege to use their money, but you can't use it for a week. You can't take a position. You can't use their money and take this long position. Not the day trading money, which is how you do the big trades. So once you get off the position, they go, okay, just kidding. Boom, 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 boom. And sure enough, they're right up there where they should have gone. So if you short the stock, trust me, they just keep on going right on up. And all of this here never happens. It never happens. Okay? What's going on over here? It's coming down like I said it would do, as long as I don't do anything. I said right here, when it was going up, I said, now I know for a fact right there to short that stock. I know for a fact to short that stock. It's at 158.50. I know for a fact to go 200 shares at least short that stock. But I know that if I did, they would have pumped up to here, here, and here. And I know that right now that sounds crazy because you can see that they're not doing it. Just like yesterday, it sounded crazy because they actually did go blasting down. They actually did go down. They actually did go way down. But they wouldn't have if I shorted it. If I shorted it, they'd have gone, oh! They'd have pumped it back up again to here. They'd have started going down. Then they'd have pumped it way up to there. They'd have pumped it way, way up. If I would have shorted it yesterday, like I said to do on paper, they actually would have done this. They'd have pumped it way up to here. And then they would have took the rest of the day to slowly come down, slowly come down, slowly come down, slowly come down. And I'd be hoping to just get back to close to broke even for the day. And then at the very end of the day, they'd have gone. And it turns out that things like this never had to happen. Just like if you go long the stock thinking it might go up like this, guess what? These prices that could have happened yesterday, they just never happened. You see this area? It never happened. They went down. They did it instead the next day. Had you shorted it, this never would have happened. It never would have happened. They'd have just kept on pumping. And then the next day, they'd have come down. And then 2 days later, they'd be down to here. You know, Friday or next Monday. All of a sudden, they're back down to 152. And you're like, that's funny, because 2 days ago, I had all my money in shorted, thinking it had to come down. And all they did was they just pumped even higher. And that's why when I write it down on paper, I'm correct. Just like over here, I would have been correct. I could have shorted that at 158.50, and it already went down to 157. That's $1.50. I mean, that could have been another $200, $300, $400, depending on how big of a position I traded. I wouldn't have put on probably 300 shares. I probably would have tried 200, maybe 250. And if I would have, they'd still be going like this. If I would have shorted the stock, they'd have gone up to here, then they'd be coming down to here, but then back up again. Then they'd come down to here, and then back up again. And they'd be holding it there, holding it there, holding it there, holding it there, holding it there. Then they'd finally come down slowly to about to here. Then they'd threaten and go back up again to here. Then they'd come down to here, and here, and here. And I'd finally say, you know what? I better just take this 50 bucks. Jeepers creepers. I can't afford to let them, because the first thing they do is they go to your negative to show you what pain might look like and feel like. And you go, ooh, I didn't like that at all. Then they give you positive 50 bucks. And you're like, I better just take the 50 bucks before I go back to negative 500. So then you get out of their way. And only if you're out of the way or you don't do the trade, then they go, oh, really? No problem. But if you're in the trade and you're like, go down, go down. They'll sit there and they go sideways and they won't go down. They won't go down. They won't go down. Now it looks like had I just gone long right there, I could have made all this money. Had I shorted it right there where I said, I could have been making another $200 or $300. Really? So I could be up to $1,000 today? Think I've not done this before? They never give you your money. All these things are because I was not in the trade. It only kept on going higher and higher and higher because I wasn't there. Had I gone long right there, they'd have gone like this. That's enough. That's enough. Back down again. I'd be going, oh shit. I should have took the $50 and got out of their way. Darn it, I thought they would go higher, but they didn't. They came all the way back down again. And now they're going to my negative? Oh, no way. That's impossible. Crazy. Crazy. I thought I was going to make $1,000 today. They never allow that. Just like yesterday. Had I shorted it, they'd have done all this shit yesterday to take me way to the negative. Had I gone along the stock, thinking that they could go up like this, they'd have gone blasting way, way down, like you saw them do. They're sitting there waiting for you to do something, and then they do the opposite. They take you to the negative, they hold it there until 4 o'clock, and then the next day they go, just kidding. Just remember those 3 simple steps. They're waiting for you to get in all your shares. If you put on a small trade, they can't do that much damage. They're not going to go, did he just put on 20 shares? Fuck it, let's go up $2. What, for 40 bucks? They're not going to do that with 20 shares. That's how right now I can do this. I can short 10 shares. First of all, when you have a small trade, they really they don't care. But if I put on 100 shares right there, they would, even if they were going to go down $2, they would immediately first go up 50 cents or $1. Hang out, sit there, make me look at it, sit there, make me look at it, and then they would come down, and then they would go down. They wouldn't just, let's get right to this and get right to it as quickly as possible, and let's go as far as possible. And then, let's quickly as possible go to his positive. Let's go as far as we can to his positive. And then once we've done that, let's stay there for as long as possible, because we know it takes time to put in orders and click on the mouse. Yeah, they don't do those 3 things. That's what they do to your negative. You put on a trade, and as quick as possible, they go boom, 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 and within 4 candlesticks, you're like, what the hell? So quickly, they go to your negative. They go far as shit to your negative. You're like, $1? Within 3 candlesticks? What the hell was that? And then they stay there. Do you see the difference? This is just up or down. There's many layers to the dynamic of it. In my mouth you put my finger. Oh, did you have to? Did you have to? Did you have to suck my finger? Thank God it's only 10 shares. So it's 10 shares and they're already taking me negative $4. See there? Negative $4. What if it was 100 shares? Wrong! If you just said, I know the math. 100 shares, 10 shares, that's a factor of 10. So you'd be negative $48, not $4.80. You'd be negative 48 bucks. This is what they're doing with only 10 shares. if it was 100 shares, they would have done exactly what you see, times 2, easily. They would have made sure they get there as quick as possible to not let you have a chance to change your mind. They would dig into your profit zone as far as they can, and they would get doing it as fast as they can. And then once they get there, they hold it there for as long as they can. That's what this channel is about. This is not about how to trade stocks. It's about don't try to do this, because you can't. Because nobody will ever wrap their mind around the fact that there's 2 timelines. They think that there's a market force. They think that right now that if there's a demand for the stock, like right now, there's just a bunch of people that are like, oh my God, I gotta own this stock and I gotta buy it now. And if a bunch of buying starts taking place, there's more buyers than there are sellers. And if there's more buyers than there are sellers, that would mean there's a demand for stock, but there's not a supply. Well, that would drive the price up higher. Get the fuck real. Bro. Stocks are not bought or sold. They're just traded. They're swapped. It just switches back and forth. Anytime a stock is bought, it was sold. That's why it's amazing when they go, today in stocks, there's much buying taking place as prices soared. Really? How many shares were bought today? 1 million. How many shares were sold today? 1 million. Why was that defined as buying? See, when the price goes up, they have no other way to explain it because they can't say, banks fucking over people that have it shorted. And for all the people that are long stocks are plummeting so that they can catch them in a margin call and make everyone sell their assets at all-time low prices, and then the banks swoop in and own it for free. That's really why prices are going up and down. Booms and bust. You got to learn about money, booms, bust, manipulation, banks, ripping, stealing, ripping. That's the only thing. That's what's driving these things, this up and down. It's fake. That price is not going up right now because, man, there must be a demand for the stock. Everybody's swooping in, flocking to buy at the all-time high. Yeah. This is when people are swooping in to buy this stock. They're like, I always wanted to own AMD and buy it, but I thought $100 a share was far too cheap. I was waiting for it to get to the all-time highest price possible. Oh, and then I was going to be like trying to buy up as much as I could. Of course, no one really wants to sell at that time. Yeah, because when stocks are at all-time highs, there's no one willing to sell the stock. That's when everyone is selling the stock. The entire supply-demand reasoning for why stocks are up or down is completely bogus and backwards and retarded. And yet, there it is. Turn on the news. Read a book. How do stock market prices work? Go do it. Google it. It's hilarious. And this whole channel is just as truth about trading. So wake up. Wake up. They're only interested in one thing, stealing from you. That's the only reason. That's all it is. That is the only reason why prices go up or down, is to attempt to steal from you. It's their attempt. And they steal from you every way they can. Whenever you try to market order in, they give you 10 cents off the what the hell just happened? Holy shit. I just bought 5 shares of ARK in my other account at $70. What the hell? That means that ARK is plummeting. Because it was above 71. And 70 would be an all-time low price. Holy shit. Whoa, that sucks. I'm not sure what to make of that scam. Because it's a scam. I know that. That's the only thing I do know. It is a scam. They're not doing me a favor by going down and getting me better prices. So, exactly what scam they're trying to pull, I don't know. But this is ARK Genomics. And this isn't a day trade I'm doing. This is an actual investment where I'm actually buying it and holding it for hopefully long into the future. You know, silly things such as DNA editing. Probably something that won't be very big in the future. I can't believe in the future they would ever be doing anything involving DNA editing. Nah. That's silly. That's stupid. That's a stupid idea. So I got sucked into this stock. It went up as high as 100 this, 100 that, after, you know, booming for a year with the Kathy Woods bullshit. Excuse me. And so how far down is it going to go? Well, let's take a look. Always know that stocks can easily do 50% in a flash. So if it went up to as high as 115, then know that the company is really worth, or this ETF is worth half of that. So half of 115 is 67. Okay, so I actually don't know. Well, half of 100 is 50, right? 50, and then 15 is 7. Okay, so $57. So yeah, so this stock is really a $57 stock. So I began to buy some at 90. All right. I actually bought 1 share at 100, and then I bought 4 shares or something below 90, which gave me an average price of 5 shares at $90 a share. And now, down here at 70, I just bought another 5 shares. So now I have 10 shares. Okay. I probably shouldn't be putting all this information out there. This is kind of private stuff here, but here it is. So now I own 10 shares of ARK right there at now $79.99. So I own it at $80. Really. Okay. And it's trading at $70, so I own it $10 under. I'm losing $100 on the trade. Now it's only 10 shares. And 10 times 8, what's 10 times 8? I think it's 800, right? I'm not good at math or anything. It's the only thing I'm good at is I'm good at discovering the bullshit and putting things to the test, like experimenting and being like, wait a minute. Like I put the stock market on the witness stand and I've cross-examined them and I poked holes in all their stories. So I own 10 shares at $80 a share. So I have $800 invested. I plan to eventually make it about $8,000. Right now I've got 1/10. I own $800 worth. So how come I don't just have $8,000 worth right now? Because it ain't done going down. People think it is. When it gets down to about $60 a share, and round about this area here, that's when it's gonna, I think, hit the low or the whatever, or the true value of the moment. Whatever you want to call that. I don't even know the terminology of it. So all they're trying to do now is go down as low as they can to create as much margin call as possible. Eventually, it's going to be back up to $100 a share and 120. When is it going to do that? Oh, that I don't know. When it comes to the short-term things, every time I do that with this, I can tell you the stocks. What they would do if I did something in the short term. But I can tell you that in the short term, they can do anything. They can go right on up $3 or $4 and right on down $3 or $4, depending on what you do. What they do in the long term, I can usually predict what they're going to do in the long term for sure, but just not when. Like, for all I know, literally in 30 days from now, they will be all the way back up to $100 a share. Of course, that's the perfect case scenario, which means not going to happen. What's the worst case scenario? Worst case scenario is the opposite of the perfect case scenario. So the worst case scenario is that it would take not 30 days, but about 3 years. It would take another 3 years for them to slowly meander their way back up to 80, 90, and 100. And then they're going to go back down again, and they're going to start to encourage people to short that stock. Be like, man, the last 5 times when I thought about shorting it, I could have made a killing. So they begin to encourage people to short the stock. And they want to get institutions shorted to it, the banks shorted to it, and as many, helpless and defenseless Americans like me that are just sitting at a computer in their house get their little life savings wrapped up into shit, shorted, and then they go blasting up out of control. Kind of like what the whole reason why it's even up like this. The whole reason why it even did this is because they got people to short it. You see, they catch you in a lullaby where they go, hey, it goes down. Every time it hits a spot, it goes down. And then it hits a spot and it goes down. So it hits a spot, it'll go down. Oh, it didn't. Oh, crap, it didn't. Oh, well, there, it went down. It'll probably go down much lower. Oh my God, it didn't. Well, here to go down. It goes down every time. So right there, people short the stock confidently. Higher and higher. Higher and higher and higher. And then right there, people go, all right, I got to get my money back and average cost down. If I short that stock here and it pulls back down to here, I'm good. So they do it. And all it does is it goes blasting up higher and higher. And then the bank goes, you have a margin call. And you're forced off of that position at a loss. That's called a short squeeze. I'm not here to teach what a short squeeze is because it's not the purpose of this channel. The purpose of this channel is everything that you see the stocks do is to steal your money. That is why it goes up. If people weren't shorting the stocks, they would never go up. How would they afford it? All the people that are long the stock that would make money, where's the money coming from to pay those people? And when it does go down, what about people that do have it shorted? Who's paying them? It's called paper hands. People that are like fear for their life and they sell. And then you want to know the best paper hands in the world? No one's paper hands. It's people like me that tried their best to make an investment. And then the stock does a tumble that is outrageously, mathematically, makes no sense. And the stock plunges to a price that is ridiculously low. Where at that point in time, all the people like me are margin called, forced off of the trade because your broker sells it out from underneath you against your will. And you don't have a choice. Whereby at that time, they are buying it at that prices. And then 30 days later, or 6 months later, it's all sprung back up, boom, boom, boom. And they're sitting there making 10 times the money, and you sat there and lost all your money. And then to boot, you were called a paper hand. When really, they forced you into a situation that you never should have been over leveraged. But if they take prices low enough, anyone can be over leveraged. Class dismissed. All right, back to this here. Da-da-da-da. These are the 25 shares I actually own for AMD. Man, I should have shorted. Remember it was way up here? I should have shorted it right there. I didn't think to do it. Of course I did. At 158.50, I said I should put 200 shares shorted right there because I know that it's going to go down $1, $2, $3, $4. Dude, that's $800 I should have made right there. 800. That would have made on top of that 250. So I'd be over $1,000 for the day. But I can promise you that had I shorted it right there, they'd have just been holding it up. They'd have started to go down, then it'd have gone. They'd start to go down, then it'd go. And then they would do something that you would think,
That's crazy. I cannot believe they did that.
and they would go blasting to 170, 160, 159 I meant, and then a 160, 161. And the whole time they do, I'd be going, that's crazy. This is impossible. That's impossible. How in the heck can that stock price just keep going higher and higher and higher? That's ridiculous. And that's what they would have done. Because so far in the history of me trading, I've never made my money. Had I right there shorted the stock, they'd have just blasted right up to there and stole my money from me. And if you go long the stock, they go blasting all the way down to get you back to zero and get you to the negative. No matter which one you do. So what I like to do is I just do my very, very best to be as careful as possible, which is already in itself difficult to do. And when you get your money, you're done. Just stay out of their way. Because at every step of the way, even from the very beginning, they are trying to get you to a negative. See, they finally went down like this, and somebody finally was like, yeah, I think it's going to go blasting back up again. So somebody starts to buy it and go long, and that keeps on going down. And then right here, they're like, all right, I bet you for real it's going to go blasting back up to here. And then it goes down even lower. And if I'm wrong, I know I'm not wrong because I do this all the time. I put on trades all the time. Even right there. Remember right there where I had it long and I was hoping they would go blasting up? And it took forever to do it, so I finally took my pathetic little $50. Once I was out of the way, they do this. But let's say I didn't get out of the way because I was like, I am going to sit here until they go up $3 from 156. I'm going to sit here until they go up $3 and I'm going to make all these hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You know what they'd have done? They'd have gone like this. Well, fuck this guy. He wants to be that stubborn. How about this? Let's see what he thinks about this. Think I'm wrong? Think I'm lying? Think I'm wrong? I'm wrong? I'm right. If I didn't get out of their way, when you get out of their way, they do this. Don't get out of their way, they do this. That's why I've never been able to put on a stock, and they just keep on going and keep on going. The only time that they keep on going is because right there, I short the stock. I go, oh, I think it's going to keep on going down to about here, which clearly it did. But if you short it right there, they'll go, boom! But if you went long right there and just stuck around, they wouldn't just keep on going and be like, give this guy more money, pile it on. No, they'd stop and go, okay. Whatever you do, they're not gonna give you $3, $4, $5. If you're in a trade and you even make 50 pennies, you better just about be getting ready to get the heck out of their way. And once you get out of their way, you'll be like, holy shit, I could have made $3.50. I only took the 50 cents? Oh my God. Well, then you know what? From now on, don't. Don't take the 50 cents. Sit there and see how many times you go for that long ride where they just go pumping way up and they just keep giving you money. Or you short it right there and they just go all the way down to here. If you short the stock, they go down to here and they go, oh, that's enough. That's the limit. If we're going to go down and we're going to do this, we're going to do something first. First, we got to do something. Boom, 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 boom. And they go pumping, epic pumping. They get you to your negative. They hope that you have a stop out, a trailing stop, that they just went and stopped you out at a loss. I never have one. And then, if you won't get out of the way, they just stay up there until 4 o'clock, and they go, I guess we'll go down tomorrow. And they just do it the next day. They're not going to go, well, we were going to give him $4. No, they're not. They're going to go the other way. In my mouth you put your finger. Did you have to? Did you have to? Did you have to suck my finger? Anyway, class dismissed. November 18th, 10:30.